Continuing on an adventure of playing decks that aren't quite meta, today we'll be playing some Machina Haven. This deck is kind of like Elana Heal Haven if you remember that, or Illuvia Heal Haven if you are from the more modern times. But the difference is that you have to have very high APM for some of the turns, and you have to be good at planning, and you also have to be good at drawing cards because there is no way to search Limonia. So what I'm saying basically is that if you want to experience what being emotionally unstable and jumping between the highest and the lowest of rolls it feels like, you can go ahead and try this deck. So let's look at the deck list we're playing for today first. This is the list we're playing for today. It is not original. I borrowed it from a Japanese Haven main, Sakakibara, whose channel I will link in the description. I did try experimenting to find my own personal list, but this one just works the best as far as I've tested, so I'm just sticking to this one. The way this deck works, you use Limonia's leader effect to get a Salvation X Limonia, which allows you to discount Haven or Machina followers in your hand. And then using this, you can play an early Nature Machinas, which is a pretty strong high roll. And then the goal you're building towards is using stuff like Elana as well as Robo with Reverend to buff your followers for a massive board that your opponent can't answer, which you can just beat their face in after that. The points that make this list unique, I suppose, Plucky Treasure Hunter is the preferred search card instead of the Confectioner, because Confectioner only draws Natura while this can draw either Natura or Machina. And considering how important it is to find your Limonia in this deck, this is just the preferred search card, I think. And then it also runs Robo Goblin. Robo Goblin's main role is a 2-cost follower that you can play on turn 2. This deck surprisingly lacks those. Hoverboard is a bit weak at only 1 attack, and Robo Falcon does nothing when you play on turn 2, so Robo Goblin helps there. Also gives you repair mode so it doesn't decrease your hand size, which is very nice for Nature Machina's decks. And finally, once Vice is on the board, Vice, our boy here, Vice, once you play Robo Goblin, it instantly dies and gives you the repair mode, so that's pretty strong as well. So yeah, that's the list we're playing for today. Let's look at some games. Our first match here is going to be against Rune, and we are going second. For the mulligan, we just look for Limonia, I think, generally. You can consider keeping stuff like Nature Machinas or Elana, but personally, I think Limonia is the most important, so I just usually look for Limonia. I do keep Nature Machinas though, but usually I just look for Limonia. Limonia's effect is extremely valuable for this deck, especially with the ability to discount Nature Machinas, so we do want to look for it there. So here we just play a turn 2 play just to keep some pressure on board. Obviously you prefer saving Changeling Cherub for her fanfare effect, but in this case I don't really want to sync Robo with Reverend this early, so we avoid that. So we just go ahead and play Robo Falcon to buff the Changeling Cherub to poke them in the face, get some followers on board, and then they can look to drop Limonia next turn. Just what we do. Go ahead and evolve the Limonia here, and then we can trade it into the Paper Shikigami here and poke them in the face as well. So now, if they clear both of these, we can actually play Nature Machinas next turn, which is very funny. But unfortunately, my opponent just play Kyoka here, so they don't manage to clear both my followers. And I can't trade into the Paper Shikigami either, so I will have to wait till the following turn for Nature Machinas, but that is fine. Let's go ahead and play a Changeling Cherub here. We do evolve the Changeling Cherub to pick up a Nature card, I believe. Yep. So this will help us just increase our hand size for Nature Machinas. And then we use the Salvation X Limonia to discount Nature Machinas here to make sure we have hand space for all the cards we're gonna get next turn if they clear both of these followers. So my opponent will drop the Chaos Wielder here to clear my Changeling Cherub and then a Demon Caller as well. Then they just casually drop their turn 6 Kuon going first, which is quite annoying, but we have the answer in Nature Machina, so we're not too screwed yet. So we'll just go ahead and fuse this entire hand into the or you can't I usually keep Robo Weapon. Justine you can consider keeping as well in case you need more healing. I I really don't know when it's a good idea. In this game I was just trying it out, so we did keep the Justine there. Use Change Ring to clear their Ikigami here, and then we can go ahead and evolve the what's his face, Nature Arm Machinus to get rid of the ward as well, and then we just drop an Iron Knuckle Nun for a nice ward to protect our face, hopefully. And our followers as well. We do have a pretty big one here hiding. Well, no, we'll use their magic missiles here to draw into their deck, I suppose. Poke me in the face, and they do have Fiery Embrace as well, which is unfortunate. And they leave my Change Ring Cherub alive, which is pretty good because we can buff it. We just go ahead and discount the Robo with Reverence. No reason not to really, so we just go ahead and discount them. Then we can go ahead and drop Vice. This is where the planning comes in, because you have to... Obviously, Vice lets you rush, so you can trade as many followers as you want. So you have to consider whether you want to save the followers at any point. You can go ahead and discount the Limonia and drop her as well. If about Mercenary will immediately die, so we can just trade her in for a Salvation X Limonia to discount stuff. Here we do pick up the Heavenly Aegis by discounting Vice, probably for the next turn. We're out of things to discount really, so we go ahead and drop the Iron Knuckle Nun here. So we want to save these followers, so we go ahead and use Repair Mode on them to heal them to health full. And this will allow them to trade over. Then we can heal it back up with Repair Mode, and then just heal myself in my own face here. There is an argument for just playing Repair Mode on Limonia or something that might have also worked, but really I don't think they had answered this deck, so they just concede. For next game, we have a match against Dragon. Once again, we are going second. It's not like this deck is particularly good against going second, it's just that I guess a lot of these games happen to be going second. Once again, we just search for Limonia. Unfortunately, we don't pick her up here, so we're uphill in that sense. Opponent just passes, which is what you expect from Dragon. Natura is the main Dragon deck, but this like Machina aggro deck has been getting popular recently. So we have to keep that in mind, I guess. We have nothing to do here, so we just pass. Slightly unfortunate, I suppose. My opponent will drop the Lightning Velociraptor here as well. Just a bit of tempo on board. We do pick up Limonia off the top, which is great. So now we just look for a Nature Arm Machinus. And when looking for Arm Machinus, you discard Nature cards because you have less Nature cards, so it's a higher chance of finding a Nature Arm Machinus. Fortunately, still don't see it here. We'll just go ahead and drop Limonia as our turn 4 play because of course we will. What else are we gonna do in this game? Then we can go ahead and trade. Just keep the Limonia more healthy so that if my opponent plays the Steel Storm Dragon New, it does Assembly Droid can't trade into it. It's just like a little bit of optimization there, I guess. As you can see here, it pays off because their Assembly Droid can't trade in, so they have to trade a Steel Storm, or if they have a Wildfire Tyrannosaurus, I guess. Or that. I don't really know what that's doing, but I guess my opponent is running this. We'll do trade and take my board. We pick up Alana off the top here, so we will just go ahead and play the Alana and evolve her. And then we can just go ahead and trade off to get rid of the Stegosaurus, I guess. Opponent's hand is pretty empty, so that's probably good for us. We'll drop the Oracle here, and then they have Valdane as well, so we can start taking the damage from Valdane's effect. Or you could, if my opponent didn't just play Steel Storm Dragoneer instead. Which they will evolve, which is fine. Go ahead and lose our Alana here, but it is fine. So at this point we don't really see the Nature Arm Machina, so it's time to start planning ahead without assuming we don't draw it. So we go ahead and discount the Robo Whip to make hand space for Vice's followers. And we here I'm just thinking how to reduce hand size. I think I do end up using this to reduce my hand size here. We go ahead and trade the Steel Storm as well. And then we can discount Robo Whip again, and we just evolve Vice to get rid of the Aldane here. We do leave one follower on board, I believe, but it's fine. Saving the Iron Knuckle for a follower to buff next turn is probably more valuable. Let's see next time I want to make a full board, so Robo Whip, Change Wing, Iron Knuckle, and Iron Knuckle will be exactly enough followers, so that's the plan. But here I do unfortunately mill my Nature Arm Machinus, which I guess it's fine. We'll go ahead and drop these Iron Knuckle Nuns here. We can use the Changeling Cherub, whose ability to heal because we have enough Nature Art cards in our hand. We can go ahead and play a Repair Mode as well to heal our face, and then a Repair Mode to heal our face, and then a Repair Mode once again. Now we are full, but we can keep going with Justine's Fusion, so we fuse the Traveler's Respite here. We can fuse the first Justine into the second one for a bit more healing. And we have a massive board. If my opponent answers this, I just lose, but it's very unlikely that they can considering how massive it is. They do drop the Nature Arm Machinus here. Which will hit my Iron Knuckle, and then I believe they don't find anything, so they just concede at some point. You can see them playing the cards, trying to draw into the deck to find an answer. And they do concede, so that's it for this game. So our last game for today is against Haven, and we're going second. I guess I figured I should include one of these, but just so we're all on the same page here, the mirror is absolutely miserable. Whoever draws better wins. It's just that, like, whoever draws Limonia and then draws Nature Arm Machinus just wins. Like, obviously if you're going first, you are favored, but in this matchup specifically, rather than being favored going first, it's more like you're favored if you draw better. So even if you're going second, you can definitely still win if you just draw better than your opponent. Here we keep the Robo Wing. We drop the Robo Wing Precant here. This is on the off chance that they do things like this, which is letting it live. We can go ahead and punish them by buffing it with the Robo Falcon. And then just trade over their Precant, so we do keep both followers as well as a Bane. It sort of forces them to trade for us. We don't have Limonia here, which is a bit concerning, but oh well. Just go ahead and drop the Alana here. And we definitely cannot let that follower live because we risk them playing Limonia and getting an extra Salvation X Limonia off of it. So we do trade and then just poke them in the face here with the Precant, and then the Precant can eat whatever they play. In this case, they do play the Alana here, so it looks like they don't have Limonia either, which is good for us. And the Precant will just eat their followers, so that's good. We pick up Nature Arm Machinus, so worst case, even without Limonia, we can at least use Nature Arm Machinus, I suppose. Pick up a bunch of followers that aren't Limonia, which is unfortunate. We can go ahead and just buff these to just pressure my opponent a bit. My opponent does have Limonia, so that's mildly unfortunate for me, I suppose. And we will go ahead and evolve their Limonia. And then here we do finally top deck the Limonia, but we do play Half-Volt Mercenary first because I need to find a Nature Elf follower, so hopefully picking up Changeling or Nature Elf Machinus will allow me to play my Nature Elf Machinus next turn. And also to just make sure I have hand size for a good value Nature Elf Machinus. Put them in the face and just play this Salvation X Limonia to make hand space. My opponent will go ahead and play the Nature Elf Machinus. Honestly, they probably could have gotten away with just not discounting the Nature Elf Machinus, but I suppose they have chosen to in this case. And they use a Changeling Cherub as well. It looks like they didn't have enough Nature Elf cards though, so the Changeling will not heal them, which is good. We just go ahead and fuse all of these. We don't really need any of these. Losing all my Visors is a bit unfortunate because it weakens the burst a bit, but it should be fine. We go ahead and drop the Nature Arm Machinus here. We pick up a very strong handle, so instead of waiting for next turn, we just go ahead and pop off this turn before they pop off, which should be very annoying for them. We do get the healing of the Changeling as well. Traveler's Respite, Traveler's Respite. And then we can go ahead and fuse the Great Tree to get Justine's heal as well. And one more heal for good measure. And then we just evolve the Changeling to pick out another Great Tree so that next turn we can fuse more into Justine if we need to. You see very high roll here, so I believe my opponent just is unable to answer this. So you can see how shit the mirror is, so if you're gonna play this deck, just know where you're getting into if you ever play the mirror. You see my opponent valiantly trying to survive here with their nuns here, and then using Nature Elf Machinus to draw a new hand. We will evolve the Nature Elf Machina as well, which will trade into the Reverend. I'm not sure what the goal is here, but oh, it's Vice. The goal is Vice. So using Vice, they can actually clear both of these Robo Reverends. They will heal as well to buff it. They will evolve, fuse into Justine to buff it once more, and then they will train to the Reverend to get rid of it. And then change Ring Cherub as well. And they will be able to clear the Reverend that way, which is good for them, I suppose. And they still have one more Iron Knuckle Nun as well, so that's good for them. Unfortunately for them though, I do have 2 Justines in hand, so their wards mean nothing. I also have Vice in hand, so there's that. So we go ahead and just buff these, discount these Vices for a maximum output, I guess. I think at this point my opponent realizes they can't win if I have Vice, so they just concede like very soon. So you can watch me play the rest out until then, I suppose. They're using Vice to buff these Iron Knuckle Nuns to train to theirs. And there's the concede, so that's it for this game. So those are all the games I have for you today. Hopefully you enjoyed them and it gave you some idea of how this deck worked in case you are considering playing it for yourself. As I mentioned at the start of the video, this deck can be a bit extreme in terms of its high and low rolls. Like when you just don't find Limonia, the deck feels miserable to play. But when you draw everything, it's like the most broken, insane, massive board, I guess wet dream kind of deck. So yeah. If that's what you're interested in, then you can go ahead and try this deck. And of course, if you have the cards or vials, cause this is a pretty expensive deck as well. So anyway, that's it for today. See you next time. Bye bye.